This is a video showing how to plot a circle within SPARKvue. Because a circle is not a true function, we have to use a parameter to graph the item. So the first step to this is choosing a sensor that will generate our index here. In this case, I have a sound intensity sensor. The advantage of that is that it has a fairly high sampling rate, so that will allow us to draw the figure fairly quickly. So the next step is I'm going to click on the cross tools down at the bottom and select calculated data. I'm going to create an index that will be used to start my calculations. So in this case, I'll call my index n equals, and then I'm going to use the statistics and just simply take the count of how many data points I have within my measurement. So I'll go to my measurements down below, and now I'm going to select the sound intensity. I'm done with this line, so I'll hit return. Now I'm going to put in the radius for my circle, and I'll have it be the unit circle. Now I'm going to create my x coordinate, and we're going to use the standard parametric form for the x coordinate for a circle. And then within the argument here, I'm going to use my n. One thing that's very important here is to make sure to click on the degrees button for the variable here. If you're wishing to use radians, I would recommend putting a multiplier up here for the index, so that you would be plotting portions of a radian rather than individual radians, because it gives kind of a blocky plot of the circle. Okay, once I've defined that, I'll go ahead and hit my return here, and now I can define my y coordinate. Again, using my index there. Also, it looks like it's defaulted here to degrees again, but please make sure it's on degrees before you advance to the next line. Okay, now that we have our calculations here, we can go ahead and click on Done and OK. The next step here is to give ourselves a plotting area that can properly display the circle. So instead of having sound intensity on the vertical axis, I'll click on this and go under User Entered Data and select my y coordinate. I'll repeat the same process for my x coordinate. And now what we can do is we can assign the sampling rate, and this is going to be the default rate at which the circle gets drawn. In this case, I'm going to drop this down to 10 points per second so that we can actually see how quickly it draws. When I'm ready to draw the circle, I'll go ahead and click on my play button, and I'll click on stop. You can see here that the aspect ratio of this is not set because the horizontal axis is got a much smaller magnification than the vertical axis. So we'll go ahead and get this centered over here, and we'll manually adjust this until we can see that our circle is roughly circular. We can then lock the aspect ratio of the axes by clicking on the lock symbols for both for the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. So we have our first run here. So now what we can do is, if we wish, we can go back in the calculator, and then we can access our calculated data. If we want to change the size of the circle, we simply change the entry on our R value here. Click on Done and OK. And you can see that the circle has expanded, or if we wish to, we can go back and make our circle of a smaller diameter, or radius in this case. And you can see that the circle's been resized. So this has been a quick video on how to draw a circle within SPARKvue.